guys, today I'm going to be doing a beautiful cranberry holiday look, and this is for 2 of my holiday series. As always, just keep watching and you'll get step by step. So the first step is absolutely doing the eye first. Now usually I use my Urban Decay primer potion to prime the eye, but in this case you're kind of already using a primer anyway, so I didn't think that double dutying it would work, just because I was worried about the crease. So I'm going to be using NYX's Jumbo Eye Pencil, and this is in the color Rust, and it's this really pretty red gold color. So I think these work really well. If for some reason you don't have something like this, any Paint Pot Max Paint Pot would work really well. That's more of a cranberry or red tone. We're just wanting to get a really nice red base in here. So we're just going to be applying this to the eye and all over the lid. Try to avoid the inner corner because we're going to be adding a little bit of a lighter shadow in there, so we don't want to darken it, and we don't want to get too far up into the crease. And you don't want to apply too much of this, only because then it really will start to crease, because this is a really kind of an oil-based product, and the more that you use, the more that it will crease. So I'm just kind of using my finger to pat that in, and then I'm going to be using this. This is from the Naked 2 palette. This is a dual-ended brush, and I'm going to be using that round end, and I'm just going to kind of blend this onto the lid. So again, we're just trying to get a really nice red base to apply more of a cranberry shadow, just so it really intensifies the look. So as you blend, you're going to notice that the red isn't as bright as it was when you first started, when you applied that NYX pencil, and that's why I told you not to use too much, because again, it's going to crease, but because we're going to use another layer. So once I kind of blend that out, I'm going to add a little bit more onto the lid, and again, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying to pop some on there and then start blending again. So just exactly what you did before. Again, don't get too much into the crease, don't get too far into the inner corner. We're just applying a nice base. So there we go. You can see how it's already a nice, beautiful cranberry color, so it's already starting to complement the other side. But again, we want to make sure that we keep this color really nice and long-lasting throughout the day. So now we're going to apply a nice shadow to it. So I'm going to be using, now I don't know if a lot of you guys know this company, this brand specifically, or this lady in specific, does a lot of the makeup for Playboy models. So I picked these, I guess I tried this line for some time only because I was looking for something that was a little more full coverage, and I ended up really liking the eyeshadow. And this is an Alexis Vogel Cosmetics, and this is the eyeshadow, and it is called Prowl, and it's this beautiful deepened cranberry shade. You can also use Max Cranberry for this, or even Max Twinks. I think Twinks is a little too dark. This has a really nice goldish red tone to it that I really like. So I tend to like things that are a little deeper. So again, this is in the color Prowl, and I'm just going to be using a MAC 252 brush. It's a nice flat shader brush. Any flat shader brush will work, but I like this brush in specific only because it really packs on color, and we're just going to apply that right on top of that cream base that you did. Again, kind of staying away from the crease and from the inner corner of the eye. We're just going to want to make sure that this stays really nice and placed right on the lid. So great. So there we go. I'm going to just apply a little more just to make sure that's really nice and deep, but it gives it this really beautiful velvet base to it. Now you could leave the color just like this, but I wanted to add a little bit of glitter to it, so we definitely are going to be doing that to it. So again, just apply that on there. Take a nice fluffy brush or a nice dome-shaped brush. I'm going to be using the same brush that I used to blend this in, just because it already has some of the color still placed on it. And I'm just going to kind of blend that a little bit around just to kind of smooth out the edges. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the corner of this brush, which is the opposite side, and I'm going to be using a darker cranberry color to really intensify the outer corner. We're not going to go too far in by any means. We're just going to hit kind of this V right here. Let me see if I can point that out right here. We're just going to hit that really nice V. So I'm going to be using my Naked palette, just the original Naked palette, and I'm going to be using this color right here. This is Hustle. And let me back up. Right here, we're going to be using this color right here, Hustle. And this is the third one over from the other side, so from the darker side. And again, just using that corner, we're just going to apply right here in that outer corner, and turn the brush a little sideways and bring it up. Stay very close to the outer corner of that eye. We don't want to bring it in because it's going to darken the eye way too much. We just want to deepen it. We don't want to make it a smoky eye by any means. So that is all we need. And then flipping it back over to get that round side, I want to be using my copper tone blush. Now I use this in my autumn look as well, but any copper tone eyeshadow will work. Nothing too orange, just something to help blend. So this is copper tone. I'm going to take that dome in, dip that right in, just to get a little on the tip, and then we're just going to buff this in the crease. And this is just going to help shade it up and blend it up really nicely, just so it looks a little more natural. It doesn't look like you have this dark tone right into, you know, your skin tone. So just kind of blending that. And then to brighten up our brow bone and then this inner corner, I'm just going to be using a nice fluffy brush like this. And, or, you know what, I'm going to use a different brush. I'm going to use this brush right here. This is a nice round fluffy brush from Eco Tools. And this is in the color Nylon. And this, you can tell by how bright it is, just a really nice bright gold color. It's a lot brighter than rice paper. And I think this complements the Cranberry well. And you're just going to hit right here up in the brow bone. And then right here into the inner corner of the eye. Brighten that up. So again, we're going to go back into Hustle, and you're going to be using that other side of the dual-ended brush. And you're just going to hit right down in here to really connect the two colors together. So I'm just going to apply a little bit right here. Again, not too much. We're just using the outer corner. And that's it. Now, I'm going to do this step first before I go into my eyeliner, only because it ends up being a huge mess. But again, I wanted to add a lot of glitter to this eye. So I'm going to be using a MAC pigment pot. I think it's usually a lot bigger. This is just a sample size, but usually they're a lot bigger. But they're very, very glittery. And this is in the color red and black, or black and red. And I'm trying to tilt this so you can really see it. But you can see how just gorgeous that is. And I'm just going to be taking a nice fluffy brush like this and dipping it right into there, just so we get a lot of glitter on the brush. Just be careful, you're going to get a lot of fallout. Just tap off the excess and just literally dip that, like almost stamping it on the lid. And this is going to really dimensionalize, I think, the eye look a lot. And it makes it a little more holidays. Perfect. And just keeping that on the lid. Now's the time for eyeliner. I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Carbon Black Liner Intense. And I really, really like this only because it's really easy to apply. And we're not going to be doing a cat eye with this look. We're just going to be applying it as close to the lash line as possible. So I'm going to do right up in here. Let's do the center first. And then get kind of in here. And then we're going to go back. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm going to actually curl my lashes. And then I'm going to be applying the L'Oreal Voluminous High Definition in the gold tube, only because I really like how this lifts and separates the lashes. I think it gives it a lot more definition, and I definitely love that look best with something like this. So to finish this look off, we're going to be using a really just pretty blush. We're not going to be using a bronzer by any means, and I really suggest using a blush that's a little more natural and that has a little bit more of a peach tone to it, just to complement the cranberry of the eyes. Since the eyes are so red, I think if you use a red blush, something that's too pink, I think it'd be a little too much. So I'm going to be using NARS's Orgasm, and I love this blush. It is the most natural looking blush I think that you can find. It has this beautiful gold tone underneath it, and it is by far one of my favorite blushes. So definitely worth the investment. And I'm just going to be using a nice angled brush like this. This is a MAC 168 brush. Just dipping that in and hitting the cheeks. And it gives it just a nice glowy, dewy effect. And then we also want to keep the lips really, really simple. So I'm going to be using my L'Oreal, let me see if they still make this. Yeah, L'Oreal Endless in the Buff. They don't still make this. They actually discontinued this line. A really good comparison, or a really good option if you don't have this in the buff shade, which is just nice, really pretty nude, is L'Oreal's Color Riche Ferris Nude. So, are really, really similar. The Ferris Nude is a little more of a pink tone, where in the buff is definitely more of a nude tone. So, if any nude lipstick would work, so we're just going to apply that. And to really give the lips a little more definition so they don't look all one color, I'm going to be using MAC's Lipglass in Viva Glam 5, and this is really similar in color. It has a little bit of pink to it, but a little bit of glitter and a little bit of shine, and again, it's going to really brighten up the whole look. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at LuckieEcke, LuckieEcke. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys soon.